confront Phoebe about committing murder by arsenical candle. You did it! You did it, Phoebe! We need to bedazzle her. Take this brooch. Take this rat. Let's do this. She won't know what hit her. You want to speak again? Just a moment. Oh, wait, well, she finishes her chores enough to take a moment with me. You mind if I ask you a few questions about the murder? There's some things I don't understand. I don't think they want me to. I mean, David and Rachel. I mean, David answered your questions? Yes. If he can stand it, I suppose I can. It won't mean anything one way or another, but better if I know the truth. If you had wanted to kill David Landau, what would the reason be? Was he demanding about his laundry? Phoebe laughs. There's people that say I had reason. That has done things that might have minded someone to be angry. To read about him in a spreadsheet, not life as it is, so to speak. But I love him. When he talked of going back to the surface, I begged him to stay. I didn't want him hurt or gone or at the bottom of some nasty grave. When he died, you'd not believe the nightmares. Night on night of him down there, scrabbling at his cloths, you know, the winding thing. I don't know if they buried him in a cloth. Just imagine they probably did, like in the Bible. What I saw over and over. Milton laughing. He thinks Milton did it. Well, I'm still gonna accuse her of killing him with her arsenical candles. I lay my theory out. I hope that wasn't my fault. Hoped Archie or someone else did something with the medicine. So how could it be me? I've been lighting those candles for months and no harm done. He has been feeling ill for months, and they were always the same from the first batch you made. Maybe I put a stronger dose of arsenic in this time around. Maybe I put a few more of them in David's room. After I asked him not to go back to the surface, and all he had to say for himself was that I could stay behind. I wasn't sure it'd do anything at all. I thought, well, if it did anything, it wouldn't kill him. I'll help you if you tell the truth. Tell me the truth, I'll help you afterward. Find a way to make this right. And get my friend out of fucking Moida. I didn't expect him to die like that. I thought it'd be quick and easy. Like he caught a cat nap. Got the players in your drama wrong. It was Milton who told me to do it. He told me he would secure David and keep him from living above again. When the death would pass in a blink of an eye and David would be back to life as right as rain. Milton really is a devil, you know, like they say. There's a brief lull in the conversation. You gonna tell the court I did it? You gonna tell David and Rachel? I don't want to hang there in the dark. They want to bless me first. I'll get a priest to look after you. You'll be blessed. No one should face that trouble unattended. Thank you. Thank you. I won't ask you not to tell the court. You think you know. It's like you can't do that. If that was my candle that killed him, then that's better. Better than Archie dying for what he didn't do. Find a sympathetic religious leader to look after Phoebe. Interesting. Abandoned after an affair. Interesting. Okay, so poison candle. The motivator was Milton. Hold of impermanent murder. The candle collaboration. Yeah! I like the name of that. Fuck yeah. I like the name of that story. Hold on, I gotta read the story first. I mean to quit out. Suppose an arsenical candles made the air itself poisonous to David Landau. Milton explained that murder in the Neath need not be a permanent affair. Might in fact be a suitable light punishment. Phoebe made the arsenical candles and filled David's room with them. Story does account for most of what happened. How it will end for Milton and Phoebe is another question. Even better. Perhaps implicates Milton in a way that pries him off of Phoebe's arm. Phoebe's arm? Rachel's arm. Perhaps we can worm our way in. But first, I gotta get dressed for dinner. Right! Algernon, would you care to join us for a spot of dinner, my fine Redemption friend? Come, meet my comrades. Aw, I was hoping I'd get something about bringing a rat to dinner. Now I'm sad. Have I ever... What is this? Okay. For a minute there, I was like, wait a minute. Does reviewing my journal actually do something? But no, it's just, let's be seeing all that stuff. All right, so we need to go to the church. Grits leaves me the newspaper after she's read everything of political import. Headlines today read, Ministry of Public Decency bans printing of former London street names. Damn. Nothing be called Main Street. Okay, we should have one more thing in the past we can recall. Horatio and Grits were less comfortable with each other. Where do I submit my orders for supper? Which orders would those be, love? Concerning what I would like to eat. So that the housekeeper can prepare it? This isn't Claridge's, child. If you care to dine in, you'll have the same meal as the rest of the lodgers. And it'll be what I fancy cooking that day. Oh, in that case, I'm content to leave the matter in your hands. My mother always did say that it wasn't ladylike to leave the poor housekeeper with the responsibility of choosing a menu. So I thought, but I imagine on reflection that that's what one has for guests. Okay, we need Algernon. Okay, this is actually... I think this is actually fine. So we need to go... He's not... There it is. Alright, Theophilus. I gotta talk to you, my friend. Yes, there's a fancy rat ratatouilleing me on my head. I find Theophilus refilling the baptismal font. I allow Algernon's presence to make an impression on him. Algernon makes a pretty speech on my behalf. You certainly invested your talents, sir. For a moment, no one speaks. Dreki has told me of poor Archibald's arrest. Down here, everyone has lost something different. So they cast an eye on what a neighbor has that they don't. Like the two women who came before Solomon to argue over their child. I don't think Archie is given to jealousy. Perhaps not of wealth or status. Most people wish for something. Condescendingly offer Theophilus this uplifting task. Archie's asked me to find the person who killed David Landau, but if I do that, someone might be hanged or imprisoned for life. That's where I see you coming in. Hoping the criminal is meant to be your line, isn't it? Allowing the unrighteous a chance to confess. This is the sort of thing a pastor ought to help with. Moment, I'm little used to anyone in that part of my vocation. Is there anything amiss? Horatia mentioned that you had changed the direction of your sermons. That you were calling for the parish to fling itself into good works with wild abandon. Really? There's no cause for alarm. Throughout the ages, the church has heard the clarion call for renewal. Change begins at the doorstep. Might be having the opposite effect. To show an alternate and practical theology, one that won't be destroyed by mere doctrinal doubt. Really, you are worse than those ladies vying to be my housekeeper. What? Suppose there is a Yorkshire style of preaching? Difficulty is, I can no longer pray. Anyone can mumble psalms, but a man without a soul? There's nothing in the good book for him. Did he make an offer to the devils? Ooh. Oh, those strings! Hey, Shrub, welcome on by. Express horror. How can you give up your soul? The process was painless. The agony was earlier. After the fall, I believed myself judged and damned, and I accepted it. Thought I would never see my wife and child again, even in heaven. I bent to that divine justice. And then we received news from above. This is not hell. The surface is merely above us. What can a soul matter in the midst of that cosmic joke? What sort of god would do such a thing? Or allow it to be done? I gave in to despair. I walked into that old valley and did not emerge. I thought there was a god. If he was such a cackling fiend as now appeared, then he deserved for me to treat my soul with disregard, as he had treated me. I went to Milton, of course. I tended his salon and made him the offer afterward. But now, as he certainly is charming, the female I would not have contemplated. Milton and I discussed poetry. He reminded me not the first to feel these things. I was not the first to feel these things. Before, of course, he took my soul. If Adam were alive, would never have succumbed. She was like the ballast of a ship, never permitting me to go to the extremes of feeling. Everything has changed, and yet nothing has. I ought to be dead without a soul. Yet I walk, I persist, scarcely feel different. Except now that I know I am a fool. My soul is in Milton's keeping now. Could you ask for it back? No. No. I think this is actually a pretty funny situation. I should thank you for scorning Job's comfort. You've not suffered an abstraction, have you? Much to think on there. You know your way out. Well, well, well. You seem to have found yourself in quite a predicament. Well, now what? Ooh. We have a couple things we can ask Milton about. Let's talk to Rachel about Milton. Let's bring Algernorn with us, because why not? I paused to look in Phoebe's direction. This is more than a social call. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about the murder? There are some things I don't understand. Yes. Is David answering your questions? He is. He can stand it, I suppose I can. You were here the night David returned. Do you recall what happened on the day? I remember what he said, yes. Is it possible that Milton did this? He didn't go into the devil's bedroom that day. They weren't on friendly terms. Whatever David said, Milton didn't mean us any harm. How far did the dislike go? David thinks Milton is a person of loose morals and taste. He has been too ill himself to accompany me to any of Milton's salons. He imagines it is all ladies and demi-mondes peeling grapes for the gentlemen, instead of a company of well-dressed men and women debating the emergence of a new apocalyptic tradition in art, debating whether one might include London's graffiti among the examples. Did they fight? As far as you know? Not if you're picturing fisticuffs or duels in the alley. For the most part, it was a cutting aside here and there. For the most part. There's something beyond the asides, then. I have been helping with your novel. I have a bias here. So often when someone asks me something, I'm curious to know what I'll say. I answer when I shouldn't. There's a part of this I think I never told you. Do you know what an inquest is like? No. I didn't know. And now I can't let it go. It had to be held right away, immediately, when David died. It had to be done and finished so we could bury him. So it was the coroner and a random 12 men he found willing, presiding in the upper room at the rising sun. We carried up David's body and put it on a table, after we'd cleaned it as well as we could. He'd been sick a few times while he was dying, but we did what we could, and the gin fumes covered the smell, I imagine. At least for the members of the inquest jury. I'm sorry. These are terrible times. Rachel makes a few flattering remarks on my better points. It was just me and Phoebe, the only witnesses being interrogated by the lot of these men, who were not sober, not sensible, and not of our beliefs. Phoebe stood by me and held my hand, and for that I will be grateful to her until the day I die. They wanted to perform an autopsy on David. Would have been more than a butchery. Look for poisons inside of him. Glad to have my brother back. But it seems we went through all of that for nothing. That makes me angry in its own way. The end of it was they wrote out a warrant for Archie's arrest, and I've never been more grateful for a thing to be over. Okay, but how is that related to Milton? That's who I was asking about. The sort of story to tell when dining out. Rachel's conversation circles back to Milton's salon, which is plainly the source of most of her social engagement. At first, he wouldn't entertain anyone who painted or sketched, or worse yet, committed acts of sculpture. That's a funny way of calling someone who sculpts. He said you couldn't tell enough about the souls of the characters, and it wasn't interesting to him if it didn't afford a view. But he was converted out of that view by the contribution of the Solomons, especially Simeon, who, according to Milton, makes all his painted heroes into a temptation and a reproach. After that, the rules against visual representations were somewhat relaxed, and the company grew more mixed. The business of the salon is evidently central in Rachel's existence. At the same time, it is the one thing that David will not allow her to discuss at home. So she tells of it to me, never tiring of its personalities and particular etiquette. So unlike the manners of her own family. I should be elsewhere. My publisher will be sending around a messenger at any moment. Look after yourself, my dear. I think I have the story messed up. Hold on. No? Didn't I do... I didn't have that option. We need to find something... Then we have... I didn't get an option. That's weird. Okay, we keep quiet and eat. Until there's no more mushrooms on my plate. Delicious. Get to the morning's newspaper after Grits is done with it. Headlines today read: Vatican encyclical Lapus Londinicis affirms support to all children of God, rebukes Anglican Church for abandoning flock, confirms that devils are enemy of church. Okay. No. We have our theory of murder. Sure, we'll just challenge Milton real quick. That'll do. Hello. To what do I owe the pleasure? I lay out my theory in detail. Cunningly deduced. But it was Phoebe who made and lit the candles. It was David who provoked her, and Rachel who kept the boundary between servant and family. Why do you look to me with the blame? Refuse to explain myself! You showed the most malice and had the least excuse. Everyone else acted from some powerful interest or emotion. You were simply toying with them. I was experimenting with them. It was scientific and aimed at their betterment, Even for David, if you can believe that. And I hardly see why you offer the most sympathy to the most irrational of actors. No, don't try to answer now. That's something for you to think on later. My little gift for you. Among my kind, death is additive rather than subtractive, an upwards progression. I, however, find myself lacking. My memories of the Fourth City are limited and unsatisfying. You can put your ideas before the court. It is possible they will be heard. But your judge has no power to execute me. I can be killed only if I'm willing to be. Until I can discover what went wrong the last time I died, I am disinclined to revisit the experience. It might diminish me even further. Once I do know, I would be willing enough to undertake an execution. Archibald is guiltless here. Phoebe, rather more entangled. But I will fall in their place if I can be sure of rising up again. And perhaps next time, in a form Virginia and her ilk will find less easy to mock. And how would I even begin to recover what you have lost? I don't know. You're very resourceful, I've found. Those with more vulgar vocabularies might even venture intrepid. When devils die, they take on a fresh form. If you find someone who knows what became of my last one, I may be able to assist. The fourth perished with me. There may be those who survived. They might remember what happened. They might even know where my corpse ended. If you find any such, do let me know. Though I suppose they might not know me as I am now. In which case, if you should encounter such an individual, ask them about Dreki. I'm eager to learn what I was. Tell me something. What's your most compelling desire? Love is what matters most to me. What is it then? This thing you want more than anything else. You must be able to describe it. It's a choice. A decision. Choosing someone in particular. Like some sort of visual novel which you click on things amongst an array of options and between an array of arbitrarily selected choices curated for the person so playing. What happens if they don't choose you? Or if you change your mind? What do you think of London, Milton? You've seen other cities, what do you think of ours? You will not like this answer. I've been wishing for some time that the masters had stolen St. Petersburg. Not that I've wished to miss out on your delightful company. But at first I was delighted with London's novels. Yeah, people who know how to write every detail, every minute element of a soul's formation. But that was much of what drew me to Rachel at first. I hope you're not about to say something unpleasant about Rachel. Only unpleasant if you regard Rachel as the sole literary mind of London. My observations are critical in the gentlest sense. I wait for him to go on. She writes as London writes, more or less with a few specific gifts of her own, to be sure. The scope, the focus upon manner, the writing of interior thoughts. She didn't invent those. And in those qualities, she, all of London even, falls short what the Russians have achieved. That's nothing compared to what some of us suffer. Have you encountered the novel Oblomov? It concerns a man too ravaged by ennui to leave his bed. He's a burden to his family, an embarrassment to himself. It is the most pure, intense, and exacting portrayal of a lightless soul that anyone could devise. A technique! What we might not have achieved with them. No doubt we'll meet again, comrade. I shake my head to clear it. Ruminations are gone. All is as it was. Hmm. I see. So I could talk to Virginia. Attacked Lynn. We have just a constantly winding. So sympathetic religious leader to look after Phoebe. Okay, so I guess we have to wait. Wait, do we have to wait until Sunday? Oh, that's probably it. Okay. We've delayed for a while. Let's go ahead and bring Archie his actually no shit. Let's get a coat from Ferret. We'll take our fancy hat. We'll take our... We'll wear no badge. We'll wear Taylor's apron. You know what? We'll just go no hat. We'll just be... I'll be just a simple Actually, wait, no. I have my normal hat. Hold on, wait. It's kind of weird that it only will show 4 items. I feel like they could show more, but sure, whatever. UI design. That's what I like to see real person the streets wear. Recount the newspaper story. Vatican sent down a papal encyclical clarifying the theological position of Catholics in the Neath. Played the comedy of it. Someone tried to commission me to trap a devil the other day. Got out by saying they need a block of Stilton as tall for the trap. Spirits should be guarding us against this menace. Time was when they stood up against such dangers. Barrett hears me out, but it's plain this question doesn't matter as much to them as to me. Don't mind me. We turn to the price of mushrooms and the difficulty of finding fuel. These are the subjects that people discuss in the Neath in order to avoid talking about teeth and snakes and the occupants of our dreams. Aw, why don't you want to talk about me? Sag. Something shady and disreputable. Something that blends in at the docks. Yeah, we want... You know what? Let's just wear... Let's go for the other one. The, shady and disreputable. I'll give you a penny. You look like it's worth more. Ain't a particular flattering garment. Mind the stains. It's got long sleeves so it's warmer than nothing, eh? The jacket says I've spent time in prison. It's not how I acquired it, but it fits among the criminal fraternity and it encourages a confrontational attitude. Come back soon. All right. Let's go down for supper and then bring Archie his drugs. Straight to sleep and Yuletide ticks down another day. Day number 300. 3 5 days until Yule. Grits leaves me the newspaper after she's read everything of political import. The headline today reads, Master's new Fist of the Bazaar hired amid billiard hall scandal. Fist of the Bazaar? Ayo? Damn. Okay. Let's try and go to the Ungulate. Let's see if we can go without Harjeet if we dress down enough. Let's strip off our apron. Put on our prisoner's jacket. Just like this. I could sneak over to the Hulk without Harjeet and visit Archie on my own. None of the locals will bother me, and I probably won't be kept aboard. Probably. Take a risk coming here without Harjeet. If you don't watch out, they'll pack you up in the ungulate beside me. And then where will we be? Nothing I wish to discuss. Here's the goods. Brought you your ingredients. Take these. You might have seen much down here, but if you need to go somewhere you won't be recognized, they're useful when it comes to keeping prying eyes away. They get a dark view of things in general. Ooh, as if the Neath were not dark enough, these are eyewear for a prophet of gloom, an evangelist of nocturnalist fantasy. When I wear them, people can't tell what I'm thinking. Aye, well done. You found more of them than I thought you could. Alright, here's my manifesto about organizing a revolution. About the manifesto. I lay out my argument in all of its subtle and vicious glory. The formation of cells, the recruitment of comrades, the stockpiling of supplies. When I said the manifesto, I did not think you'd take it to such an extreme. What'd you expect? I was thinking something more in the nature of a treatise. Setting forth a plan, aye. Maybe something to stir the blood, but nay. Now wait. You're speaking of weapons here. In combat. Someone's like to be injured. Not always be only the masters. I think you've not seen a battle. People did not look so well after. Come to think of it, Archie hasn't seen that either. Best of my knowledge, he never left England. Well, now what? Yeah, perhaps you're right. Might be too great a risk. For a moment, no one speaks. Who'd you miss most on the surface? There's someone I look up to. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name was my name too. Everywhere. Throughout, all the people would shout, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Da 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 da. Hey, it's easy to feel cut adrift down here. Would he be much use to you down here? Or she, I suppose. The Neath might have been too much for them. Just as well then, maybe. Archie listens without interruption while I talk about my memories. Things I remember acutely, the ones I'd almost forgotten until this moment. Thank you for telling me. We each have our own losses. Been thinking about you. But how I mean to go above again as soon as I may. You worried about the future, buddy? Afraid of what's to come? Nah, it's... I wanna make some copy of happiness down here. Spend the time with you, making plans together. It's like telling myself I've settled in. I will not see the sun again. Does it trouble you, me saying that? I'm not sure yet. Could it? Well, might be the mood'll pass on. But I thought it was best to warn you. I'm fond of you, but I'll not be fit for a purpose. Even if the purpose is a bit of friendly companionship. Might be more than I can keep up. Okay, this is confusing. Because I just want to be friends. Is this... Maybe we should forget anything happened. Perhaps you're the right of it. And just manage another errand today. Okay, I need to apparently revisit my theory of revolution. General Custer, welcome on by. Ooh, playing some Payday 2. Nice, nice. Y'all go loud or y'all go quiet? That's the real question. I hope y'all made out with some good loot, buddy. If you're coming here from Custer's place, remember to follow them so you can check them out when they get down with shenanigans. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know how long you were streaming, Custer, but I implore you. Time for you to sit back and relax, get you some food, get you some Wawa, leave yourself some piss, probably in a porcelain container of some sort. People tend to be very angry if you just kind of like piss on their door or something. I don't know. Maybe piss out a window. Maybe someone will be happy for a brief moment thinking it is raining. Some nice, cool, refreshing water from the sky in all this intrepid heat. And then they will immediately be very sad when they realize it is not, in fact, rain. Or at least it's not the rain that they thought it was. Actually, you know what? You probably shouldn't piss out the window either. That's probably a bad idea. Unless you live like on like the 10th floor of some place and you can like camouflage where you are, then you maybe won't suffer any consequences. I don't know. I'm just a snake. I'm just talking shit and saying words. Hi, hello. If you don't know me, I'm Dreki Wormer, Draconic Serpent, Fly this Dragon, worm on the internet. Don't usually go on long diatribes about pissing, but that's just the night it's been today, I guess. Anyway. We'll save and exit. We'll figure out our options. Ooh, maybe Moss could help us find Milton's remains. Yeah, we don't want to be in this when we meet Milton. We got something for our face. We got some glasses. I wear some sunglasses inside so I can be extremely blind. All right, let's talk to the Clayman, see if he may be able to help us with our Milton body situation. Moss acknowledges me with a nod. This is more than a social call. Did you encounter a devil by the name of Dreki while you were in the previous city? I did not. I kept away from the devils. They did not often leave their embassies of brass and porphyry. People whispered that they had captured the Khan's palace through mirrors and roses. But the Khan was long gone by then, and the city riven with scheming factions. He makes a noise like a river mouth opening to the onrush of the sea. Made me miss my king more than anything I have known. I had a question, if you don't mind indulging me. Have you ever been in love? I don't mean the physical process. He makes a shattering sound deep in his throat that is reminiscent of two boulders colliding. Rather the companionship, the desire for it. Yeah, I have, yes. I'm glad you have known that experience. I understand your kind places great stock in it. I cannot say that I have. I was raised by my king, he of 100 hearts. I know only his love, and all that he deems fit for me to know. And now I walk apart from it. A noise issues from a heavy chest in the corner of Moss's room. It sounds distinctly like help. It was his suggestion, of course. The trouble with kings is that even their suggestions sound like commands. A further noise follows. It's a garbled shout. Horned crown?
Curse me! How dare you subject the crown to such indignity? Is this the sort of treatment fit only for unruly caps and translucent bonnets?
Moss? What do you have in this box? Oh, goodness. I had intended to tell you, but it shames me to say that I'd quite forgotten I'd put him in that box. After such a long time, I'd grown weary of listening to his voice. I do not know how it grasped your language so quickly. I must assume crowns are quick to adapt to customs of their wearers. I see an explanation is required. I have learned they say every Englishman is an island, and on that island is a king. My home is similar, in that it is an island, and it has a king. My king obliged me to bring a gift of his unto the previous city. It was to be delivered to an old acquaintance of his, who resided there. They had a tradition of exchanging gifts. My task was to deliver the latest. A task whose difficulty, I regret to say, has only increased since your city fell upon it. For which I hold you in no way responsible. My king bore this acquaintance only love, yet plainly, this person did not wish to be found. It makes a noise like a statue dropping onto an ocean. The king's heart is much larger than my own. Evidently, it is such a size to accommodate complexities. This is a task of high status. You must be very trusted to be given this task. Thank you for saying so. The king could not have appointed it to someone else. It's requiring such an extent of time and distance. The box makes an indignant noise. It speaks Loamsfrak, the language of clay. The box repeats itself. I must object. It's not a connection that would have occurred to me. The box makes a noise like a knife on a whetstone. I did not ask anyone before, because first the city was in a state of anarchy, and then another city fell on top of it, which made establishing a rapport sufficient for asking a favor a little difficult. A further indignant burst of Loamsfrak emerges from the box. My apologies. The gift has happened upon a solution to my problem. It is a crown. It is intended for the recipient's head. The recipient is absent, but the king believed dreams might lure him out. They were a favorite of his. If the crown was suffused in your dream stuff, the king believes his old friend could not resist seeking it out.
This clod is forbidden to dream. Therefore yours will have to do.
Would you be willing to help us and donate a dream? What does that mean? Boss opens up the trunk, revealing a crown that appears exceptionally old. He gazes at it for a moment, an unreadable expression on his stony face, before he passes it to me. Oh yeah, that's a perfectly normal hat. Oh yeah, that's very normal. Nothing like a hat with its own teeth and some wiggling tentacles about it. Yeah, just plop that right on your noggin. Ain't nothing bad's gonna happen at all. Ain't cursed. Nope. You'll be perfectly fine. There are always risks in wearing a hat with opinions of its own. This crown is worn by my king once. You may whisper your dreams to it. I do not believe it will take advantage of this knowledge.
All you need to do is recall a dream and whisper it into our horns. Then wear it upon your head when you next go into the city. If the one who is to receive us has returned to London, he will find us. If he has not, well, you get to receive the honor and privilege of wearing us for a short while. You may not thank us. The tears we are certain we can see in your eyes shall suffice.
If, of course, you want to do this. He makes a noise that sounds like a drop of water on marble. This is our task. I can find another way if I must. He says something in grinding Loamsprach. I wonder if that means there must be another way. Let's find out more. Perhaps this man does not wish to be found. Perhaps, but my king wishes him to be found. Therefore, he will be found. The man will seek both the dream and the dreamer. So, will you do it? Will you take the crown and find the man I was sent to deliver it to? Sure! I'll take the crown and find this missing man. My gratitude is... It is difficult to express in either Loamsprach or your own tongue.
He is happy. Is the translation. Now I must be filled with your dreams. Come, whisper them into my horns. Whisper. And I shall tell you a secret in turn.
I lean in close and feel the cold and ancient crown upon my lips. It seems like it is made of ivory or bone beneath the gold. I tell it of the mannequins I dress in my sleep, the way flowers fall, dripping petals like tears over the torso. In their place, mushrooms sprout, staining the rotting fabric with colors virulent in hue.
What a busy thing your nocturnal imaginings are. I do not sleep. Even if I did, the king has not authorized dreams. But if I dreamed, it would be of the territories not yet conquered. That seems to be a province of crowns. Now, your reward. I know a secret about our moss under limestone. Who unworthily bears the face of our king.
I lean in to hear the bronze-toned whisper of the crown.
He hid me in his box for fear. In completing the task, he would find his way back to Polythreme. But with it so close in reach, were he to fail, he would be deemed unfinished. Worst thing a clay man can be: disobedient, truculent, incomplete.
Moss glances up at me from across the room. He is far too polite to admit to eavesdropping.
Now, I am filled. Let us see about our missing man.
Ajit may be useful. If my king's friend is lured back by the crown, Ajit may see him on his rounds. Thank you once more. It means more than words I can express. Horatia sets the dinner soon afterward.